Today we are back again with another White House press briefing. This time, Caroline Leavitt is joined today by Secretary Scott Bessent and Kelly Loeffler, who's the small businesswoman. So we look at like the cow sheet, right? A lot of people are not sure if Caroline's gonna speak or not. I'm not sure either. I'm just gonna kind of try to live trade this because I don't have many positions here. And you know what? Anything can happen. So I just got a couple like cheaper no's, but she could, of course, give an intro, and in that intro she could update on Iran. But I kind of am expecting this to center around the tax cuts. The big beautiful bill. So I'm not sure. I think I'm just gonna live trade this. So it'll be fun. We'll see. I will just live trade this, honestly. Depending on the situation, what is going on, how things are reacting to each other, like, if Caroline Leavitt comes out and starts talking about Iran, a lot of these are going to go up. Hormuz, blockade, ceasefire. I also got a Scott Bessent market. I've just seen this, so I don't really know Bessent, but I'd imagine, like, this is going to center around the big beautiful bill and the tax cuts in the big beautiful bill. So I'm at McDonald's wine. No. The only why I'm on for Caroline is American Dream. Because I feel like that makes sense with the idea that this is going to be centering around tax cuts. Big beautiful bill. Why would she say McDonald's? Like, okay, actually, you know what? It does make sense, kind of. Because with the big beautiful bill, you saw with the DoorDash thing. Alright, you're right, Nick. You're right. I'll be on McDonald's, yes. Okay, I'm on McDonald's, yes, and American Dream, yes. I feel like these make sense with this centering around the big beautiful bill. She could... It is National McDonald's Day? Is it actually? Is it fun? Oh my god, it is. It is National McDonald's Day. Holy alpha. Wow. Not even fun. It's actually true. Rigatoni is a avid McDonald's user. I feel like that makes sense with the tax cuts. I don't know if she say McDonald's, but she could say DoorDash. You saw with the DoorDash driver, you're saving $11,000 per paycheck or whatever. I think this is gonna set around big beautiful bill though. I mean, why else would Kelly Loeffler be there, right? Kelly Loeffler and Scott Bessent. I don't know. This Scott Bessent market's a bit dead, but this Caroline's a bit interesting. I think I'm just gonna live trade it though. Where's Pakistan? Yeah, she fucking dodged Pakistan last time. This girl, bro. This girl dodged Pakistan last time when it was the most relevant goddamn thing that was happening in the earth. Costed me, what was it? Cost me $250 just dodging Pakistan. But, like, I don't see her saying ice. I don't see her saying... There's some possibly easier no's. She could say Florida, like talking about tax cuts, possibly, but... I think I'm just going to live trade this, guys. This is going to be fun. And the fact that no one kind of knows what she's going to talk about. They have an idea based off precedent of last time. Or previous press briefings where she's had guests. She normally does an intro, signs off, lets the guest talk, and then possibly takes a couple questions. So, I mean, I've got, like, no ceasefire, no Hormuz, but I'm about to, like, sell out of this stuff if it's not looking too good. Or buy some oil. Oil, yes. Doesn't seem that bad. As a little hedge. What did I get tagged in? But White House is live, so we're just gonna live trade this, man. Like, I don't see her saying Pope. Didn't last time she got asked a direct question about the Pope and then dodged it? Is this true? I haven't even looked, guys. I may or may not have just woken up, but I'm feeling my Kara vibes that she dodged it last time, I'm thinking. That's my memory of it. So I'll buy a little Pope now. She'll say like the Vatican or whatever if she gets asked. What are we saying? Do you guys think this is gonna be just plant reporters? Like this is I feel like this is gonna be like the worst. This is gonna be like the worst press briefing of all time, by the way. I am live streaming this, but I feel like this is gonna be like the most dead press briefing of all time. Because it's probably just gonna be Caro saying, Look at how many people won with the tax cuts. Here's my friends Scott Bessent and Kelly Loeffler to talk about it. And then they're going to talk, and Scott Bessent's going to talk like he's got marbles in his mouth. And, like, I don't know. I don't think this is going to be that fun. Like, and I think if there's going to be, like, any reporters, they're going to be, like, plant reporters. Like, oh, ask me about the big, beautiful bill, you know? So, this is surely a bond, though. Big Beautiful Bill, yes. For Caro, like, even for Caro. Is it on Bessent? I don't know. But I feel like this is going to be, like, genuinely the worst press briefing of all time. Because I don't know if Caro's going to talk that much. And I think it's going to be, like, mainly plant reporters, plant questions. Talking about the same thing, talking about small businesses, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, all this bullshit. But if it isn't, it's gotta lay. I don't know. We're live trading. If it like somehow comes out and then she starts talking about fucking Soleimani, like that shit would be crazy, but I don't know if I see that. We killed Soleimani, and we're going after the radical left Cuba next. Like, bro, this is kind of supposed to be about tax cuts, no? Let's see Bessent's market, man. These strikes kind of fucking suck now for Bessent. Like, what is he actually supposed to say out of any of this other than tax cut? Like, is he actually going to say gas? And if I'm trying to relate this to small business and tax cuts and no tax on tips and no tax on overtime and no tax on Social Security, what is he actually going to fucking say other than tax cut and Trump 5+? I mean, I'll take that 85, but I'm a bit cooked if this shit's all about Iran, no? Main Street? What even is Main Street? Main Street America? Main Street is a medonym? I don't even know. Productivity? The productivity of small business has gone sky high. Like, bro, what are we talking about? I don't know. Maybe I read this wrong. Caro's gonna come out and talk about uranium in Pakistan, but I don't know. She could. She could give an update on the war, the blockage. It is National McDonald's Day. It is. It is true. Good on Caro. Pugna, I'm just gonna live trade this, man. I expect her not to speak too much. She might take questions, though. She might. You never know. But I'm kind of just expecting this to be about tax cuts. They just put out a thing on 4th, too. This tax day, Americans are keeping more of what they earn. Working families tax cuts. I mean, this is why she has Bessent and she has the other blonde girl doing it with her, I believe. They're going to talk about no tax on tips, small business relief, Trump accounts. You know, Trump accounts might be decent for Trump 5+ on Bessent, but he'll have to be the one that talks about it. I don't know if that's true. But all this crap. Housing affordability. I do read that. Improved housing affordability, expand a low-income housing tax credit is incentivizing the construction of affordable homes. Ooh. What's affordable at? I bet it's kind of high. Yeah, it's pretty fucking decently high for Caro. Vegas, Nevada, I'll be honest, I don't know. I mean, like, this will be about tax cuts, so there's probably some correlation. I haven't even thought of it. I didn't see this strike until 5 seconds ago. Let's see. Let's see if there's a way that Caro says Vegas, Nevada. What I'm thinking is no taxes on gambling, but that doesn't relate at all, does it? Is Vegas in this? Nevada? Is the girl from Nevada or something? See, this is like being a detective. This is what it feels like to be a detective. Let's do, Caroline Levitt, what does she say? We'll be traveling? Oh, are they going to Nevada or something? Let's see this. What did she say Nevada in? Next week is tax week. You'll hear a lot from the presidents. I'm proud to report that President will be traveling next week to the great states of Nevada and Arizona to tout his historic accomplishment over the next week. Don't mind if I do. Yo, thanks for the shout, bro. That's low-key a bond. That's low-key a good yes buy. Yeah, Trump is going to Nevada, but yeah, like Caro's gonna say that he's going. Just like this, I do imagine. I don't know why Vegas is thrown in there. Is he going directly to Vegas? Like, Vegas, Nevada, Trump tax cut rally. It's in Vegas. It's in Las Vegas. Dude, he's got to do no tax on gambling after that. Tax-free overtime benefits public safety efforts. Yeah. Like, low-key, Nevada, Vegas, pretty good. Yeah, Chiller already knows. What are your thoughts on tariff? For Caro, or, I mean, for Bessent, I guess it could come up. Why the hell would Caroline Levitt say that? She's not gonna talk. She's not gonna say tariff. Does she ever say American Dream? I mean, like, actually, realistically. Yeah. Home ownership, living out the American Dream. Yeah. So if she's the one that talks about home ownership, I do actually like American Dream for her. Like you can see on Mention Metrics. State claim and American Dream, she's hit multiple times this year. She hit it 3 times during this one. She was going off. Huh. Alright, Lawrence O'Donnell. But no green suit? You want me to put on the green suit? No, Lee, I think this briefing is gonna be dog shit. So I don't know if I should put on the green suit or not. I feel like this one's gonna be it's mainly like a no fest for her. She's got other guests. Like this is gonna be kind of pretty fucking boring. I imagine. I mean, she could come out and just talk about Hormuz and the ceasefire and the blockade, but I don't know about that. feel like I should use the green suit for like bigger occasions than this dog shit. Maybe like the Melania Roundtable is even a bigger event than this. Alright, run it back, boys. Run it back. We always fucking lose on China No, but we're running it back. Run it back. We will win this time. We're going no China. Come on. Run it back. We will win this time. China No. We're bringing it back, bro. She's not saying China. She's not saying China. What? I've lost 4 times in a row on no China for Carol? This time it's happening. We're getting our no China. Yes. Yeah, so like, hold on. I mean, I get the idea of American Dream is in this tax cut presser they just put out on 4th. They talked about housing affordability. And then when she talks about housing affordability, she says American Dream. So I liked it at 20 cents. The same reporter might be there again to troll you. You think the reporter's only asking questions because he knows I buy China No every time? What's the name of that one reporter? The one, the CNBC one? I don't know. I forgot his name. Let's see. This guy? I don't think it's this guy, but he asked about China once. Iman Javers.
Say, and one guy had bet $700 that the next word was going to be China. And I asked her a question about China. And
this one's on China, yes. It's kind of crazy.
You asked him a question about China
live streaming himself betting.
You asked him
no,
a question.
I didn't, but this opens up a whole new revenue stream for me, right?
Oh man, don't even joke about that. I mean,
online, somebody tweeted this at me. People online are betting during the White House press briefing on the next word that Caroline Leavitt will say.
Iman Javers asked about
celebrating
China
online and tweeting it out.
I mean, I was on China Yes though, so you kind of saved my bet though. But this is financial advice. Yeah, exactly. It is. All this is China No is financial advice, 100%. I have by the way, I have a finance degree. Can we talk about this? I literally have a finance degree. Like, I went to school for 4 years to play Kalshi markets. Unironically. Unironically, I did. I have a finance degree, so. And this is what I use it for. I use my finance degree to determine probabilities of Caroline saying China or not. Worth it. Yes, I am on McDonald's right now. Nick. Yeah, exactly, Frank. There never is China news, man. There never is China news. They just ask her about it anyways. They just love asking, so are you gonna bring Kelly Loeffler to China with you? Is Scott Bessent going to China? Scott. Like, bro. Today is National McDonald's Day. I should get McDonald's or something, especially if I win. I'll get some McDonald's on, if I win on this McDonald's strike, I'll get McDonald's and tweet it out. If not, I'm getting Burger King. Best in GDP? I mean, I don't know if GDP is gonna go. Eric Trump? Bro, if they ask about Eric Trump, they should not be asking about Eric Trump. Let's look at the best in market. GDP? I mean, you think he's gonna talk about GDP? He usually does in like economic, but this is kind of like more of him spitballing, you know? More of him talking about the Big Beautiful Bill. How does GDP relate to the Big Beautiful Bill? Is it in the Is he gonna say it's GDP's increased because of it or something? Let's see. Let's look at AP. What's going on? People just patiently waiting. Oink, 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 oink. Look at the chat. Oink, oink, piggy. They're just spamming pig emojis. That's crazy. I'm trying to find the press briefing where he did last time. He did one last time with her. I'm trying to see if he said GDP during that one. That'd be kind of a based find. Here we go. Here we are, Bessent. Alright, so this is here's one that they did together. Let's transcript. Let's see, GDP? Did GDP get set? No. GDP was not set during that one. And that one was about tariffs, so... This press briefing was about tariffs. April 29th, 2025. Long-term tariff revenue, like this was all about tariffs. And he didn't even say it during that one. Oh, here we go. Carol.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
How are you? Good to see you. We have a packed house,
Hey,
and
good
I have two
afternoon.
very special guests with me today. I will start with some scheduling announcements. Tomorrow afternoon, President Trump will travel to Las Vegas, Nevada to hold a roundtable and deliver remarks on the working families tax cuts. On Friday,
Vegas?
President
That was
Trump will travel to Phoenix, Arizona
Oh,
to
look at
deliver
Blockade.
remarks
It's
at a
going crazy.
Turning Point
Okay,
USA
lock in.
event at Dream City Church.
I don't
And
think
I'm
this
really
is
honored to
Iran
be standing
updates.
here today on Tax Day with two esteemed members of the President's cabinet and his excellent economic team, Treasury Secretary
All right,
Scott
I'm buying no
Bessent and Small
blockade.
Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler. As we have seen this tax season, President Trump's working families tax cuts have put a historic amount of money back into the pockets of the American people this year. On the campaign trail in 2024, President Trump looked voters in the eye and promised them he would sign the largest tax cuts in the history of our country.
This is going to be
And on
tax cut
Independence Day last
propaganda.
year, President Trump and congressional Republicans delivered,
He's ready,
passing
Kelsey.
the largest tax cut in history for working and middle-class Americans, including no tax on tips, overtime, and Social Security.
Yeah,
They
this
also
is gonna
passed
be
unprecedented tax
crazy
relief for
crap.
small businesses,
This is crazy
farmers,
crap. I'm buying no
workers,
hormones.
and families. With Tax Day officially here,
buying
the
no
numbers prove
negotiate.
these tax cuts have been nothing short of extraordinary. More than 53 million filers claimed at least one of President Trump's signature new tax
Bro, I'm
cuts.
buying
The average refund this filing season is more than $3,400.
She's not hit big beautiful bill. God
The
damn
Trump
it.
administration has issued
bit
more
rich.
refunds and larger
idiot.
refunds than in any year of the history of our country. And I will allow Secretary Bessent to break down the numbers in greater detail. President Trump and Republicans in Congress have always believed that the American people know how to spend their money better than the government does. But what the American people must not forget is that every single Democrat in Congress voted against these tax refunds. The media has largely omitted this fact and other critical details in their stories covering the benefits of the Trump tax cuts. If the Democrats in Congress had
No
gotten their way
negotiate,
and
no
blocked
blockade,
President
no
Trump's
hormones.
historic legislation, Americans would have faced the largest tax hike in history, nearly $4 trillion. The average taxpayer would have seen a 22% increase in their tax
no
rate.
ice.
Democrats in Congress have proven over and
ice, no
over again
DHS.
that they are the affordability frauds who
Affordability.
believe the government should keep
there
more
we go.
of the American people's hard-earned money. This president
Affordability
and Republicans
frauds.
in
She
Congress fundamentally believe
Is
that
fraud on
Americans
there?
deserve to
Oh
keep
my God,
more
yeah.
of their hard-earned
Wow.
paychecks. It's a clear contrast for American families to keep in mind. So with that, I will turn it over to our great Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent,
Bessent's
and then
gonna
we will
go
turn it
now.
over
All
to
right,
Kelly.
flip to the
Thank you.
Bessent market. She didn't hit big beautiful bill,
Thank
so
you,
I might be
Caroline.
screwed on that. That was kind
I'm
of
here
stupid.
to tell you that it has been a fantastic tax season. It has gone smoothly. It has
It is
gone
going smoothly. It's
efficiently
been a
from the point of
fantastic
view
tax
of
cut
the
season.
IRS, but most importantly,
I got
it's been a
Marlboros
great
in my
tax
mouth.
season
I
for the
can't
American
speak
people.
like a human.
Thanks to promises made, promises kept,
Tax cut.
Through the working families tax cuts,
Yeah.
the president has
Working families
delivered
tax cut.
the record refunds to the American people. More than 45% of the filers of the returns that we have seen have had at least one of the 4 president's signature policies: no tax and tips, no tax and overtime, the deductions for our great seniors, and the deductibility of interest on auto loans.
Yeah, this is
for
going to be the worst
American-made
press briefing of
cars.
all time, boys.
And I will tell you that the biggest,
This is going to be like the worst press
one of
briefing of
those
all time.
that Americans have taken is no tax and overtime. And it's the American way. If you want to work longer hours, you get to keep more of your money. And with that, we are
Trump
seeing,
5+ is taken.
I want to encourage everyone out
Losing
there
on
watching
China,
today
bro, do not
to
say
change
that.
their withholding if they haven't already done so.
I've lost on
Because
China
if
too
you change
many
your
times.
withholding, then you will get an automatic real wage increase on a weekly or a monthly basis, and you will be able to keep more of your money this calendar year. So with that, we have also seen with the Trump accounts, we have had
Yeah, you got
5
Trump
million
accounts.
families file for Trump accounts for their
Oh,
children.
he's spamming it now.
1.2 million of those are eligible for the $1,000 seed bonus. So
Spamming Trump
we look
now.
forward to that picking up more
is
and
he on
more.
2?
For those of you who haven't done it,
Two?
it's easy to remember. Form 4547. You can do it while you're filing your taxes. You can do it at any point during the year. We think this is going to be transformational in terms of financial
Transformational.
literacy. This is Financial Literacy Month, and
Financial
Treasury
Literacy
and all of the
Month. That's what we're
administration,
doing,
we are
boys.
working with
That's
the
what we're
American
here
people,
for.
with American
This is
families,
financial literacy,
not
what
only
I'm
to
doing
give
right
them
now.
more of their money, but to show them how to invest it in a safe, smart, and sound way.
Exactly,
So
like
with that,
Kalshi.
I will turn it over to Kelly.
Yeah. Safe, smart investing. That's what we're doing.
Thank you, Scott, and good afternoon, everyone. Excited to be
afternoon.
here on Tax Day, important day for small business because small business and their employees have real relief thanks to President Trump's working family tax cuts. As administrator of the U.S. Small
Yo,
Business
big, beautiful
Administration,
bill
it is my
tanking.
great honor to serve our great president as the cabinet level voice
I'll buy a little.
for
I'll buy a little
America's
yes
36
on
million
Caro. Why
small
not?
businesses.
We'll dabble.
President
to
Trump is
dabble.
right. Small business is big business. Indeed. They are a massive economic engine that creates 2/3 of all new jobs. They represent 99% of all businesses, and they drive about half of our GDP. The working family tax cuts are putting money back into the pockets of the hardest working Americans. That's why small business and their
she
employees
says
are
crypto here?
benefiting the most. President Trump and congressional Republicans have saved
Bro.
Americans from a $4
This is gonna be
trillion
the worst
tax
briefing of
hike,
all time.
including a staggering 20% tax increase on working families.
I called it.
It would
man.
have
This is the
destroyed
worst
millions
briefing
of
all
jobs.
time.
Now, I've traveled the country from Maine to Alaska, and not a single worker, not a single
Maine,
small
Alaska?
business asked to pay $1
Vegas?
more in taxes. Yet every single congressional Democrat voted to raise taxes, not just on small businesses, on our workers, on our seniors,
Why
on
is gas
hardworking
so high? Did he
families.
say did he fart?
Thankfully, Republicans united behind
Did Scott
common
Bessent
sense
just
policy
fart? Why
of
is
letting
gas so high?
Americans, not Washington
heck?
bureaucrats or fraudsters, keep more of what they
Fraudsters?
earn. Now, so far, as you've just heard, 12 million small businesses have an average tax saving of $7,000. The 20% small business pass-through deduction is
you
now
gotta run
permanent,
some
offering
McDonald's yes
them
too. Come on.
certainty to plan for the future
Let's see if
and
we
the
can get
rocket
filled on
fuel to
McDonald's
create
yes.
1 million new jobs. Eric Williams
I'm at
at
7
Prince
cents.
Manufacturing in rural Georgia. He specializes in fabrication and machining. This year, he's reinvesting his tax savings to hire 500 new employees. The provisions for 100%
She
expensing
probably
of
will take
equipment,
at least
expansion,
a
and
couple
R&D
questions, right?
are also growing production to help us
I mean,
reclaim
maybe I should sell it to
industrial
no blockade.
dominance.
Like that's a bit
At
scary.
Blue Patriot Fab, which I visited this week in Omaha, the owners highlighted
only
one of their
climbing,
newest
though.
buildings, and they
51,
call it the
50%.
Big Beautiful Building
I don't know if
because
it's-
the tax cuts
Oh,
helped
you
them
say
build
big
it.
beautiful Bill. God damn it.
Made in America is back, and that's why the America worker is winning too. No tax on tips and overtime means that millions of employees are now rewarded, not punished, for working more. And it's already benefited, as you just heard, 31 million taxpayers.
31 million.
In Baltimore, John and Tony Minidakis are proud second-generation owners of Jimmy's Seafood.
She's not saying Epic Fury,
Now, with
bro.
no tax on tips and
Wrap it
overtime,
up.
their 200 employees know that coming into work means going home with more pay.
Dang, should've
And
got it
Wade, a
before.
CNC machinist that I met at Lehigh Valley
See if I can get
Plastics
filled.
in Pennsylvania, said he routinely takes on extra shifts, and now the tax cuts reward his extra effort. And the benefits aren't just for tax season. As you've heard, the Trump accounts are connecting young people from birth
account.
to the power of our free enterprise system. With 529 savings accounts and Workforce Pell for trade
God, after
schools,
this, I think I'm gonna do
we're
the
now training the
Melania
next
round
generation
table.
of skilled workers to fill millions of open jobs at small businesses. So in closing, America
She's
is
closing.
open for business again. Yet every Democrat
Where's Caro?
voted no on the
Cara's
very
not even
tax
in
relief
sight.
that is restoring Main Street, that is putting more money back into
Alright,
the
I bought some
pockets
Epic
of
Fury now.
hardworking
Got-
families.
oof.
Small businesses
filled
are
all at
rebounding
once.
from years of Biden inflation, decades of unfair
Biden
trade,
inflation?
and massive
Is that a
regulatory
closed
overreach.
compound? Biden
But thanks to
inflation?
President Trump's tax cuts, they now talk about expansion, hiring plans, and generational opportunity. This is America First in action. Lower taxes, rising wages, and a thriving Main Street. Now millions of Americans are getting their largest tax refund ever, and Main Street is getting historic tax relief to keep the American dream alive. Thank
American
you.
Dream. Oh my God, send it to the moon, to the moon.
Before we take questions, I want to provide some numbers for you all.
We take
So
questions?
tax
Oh,
day
there you go.
statistics as
Could
of
say GDP
April
here.
12th. Over 53 million filers, nearly 45% claimed one of President Trump's signature tax cuts. The average tax
I'm not
cut
Trump,
per
yes.
filer is
That's
benefiting
3
from one of
Trumps at
President's
least.
tax. The
That's 3 Trumps
new
at
tax
least.
cuts is
for
over
Bessent.
$800. Over 6 million filers have claimed no tax on tips with an average deduction of $7,100. Over 25 million filers have claimed no tax on overtime with an average deduction of
That's at least
$3,100. Over
3
30
Trumps I
million
counted
seniors
for
have
Bessent.
claimed the enhanced deduction for seniors with an average deduction of $7,500. And over 1 million filers have claimed no tax on car loan interest on American
like,
cars for an
Trump
average
accounts
deduction of over
counts.
$1,800. The average refund this filing season is over $3,400. Over 34 million families have claimed
China's so
Republicans'
strong?
enhanced child tax credit, which is permanently
running no
doubled
China,
and
man.
expanded
I
by
always
the
get
Working
cooked
Families
on
Tax
no
Cuts.
China.
Over
For
105
some
million
goddamn
filers
reason.
have claimed the permanently doubled standard deduction, simplifying tax filing for millions across America. So, as much as people do not like to pay their taxes, and we saw a survey today
Well, Bessent's
that
gonna take questions,
70%
bro.
of
You
Americans
gotta hit
still
2
believe
more
that they are
Trumps.
overtaxed, this is a great day for the American people.
Thank you, Scott and Kelly. We'll now
Okay.
open it up to questions. You're welcome to ask me questions or either of the great cabinet officials next to me. And we'll
Oh,
start, as
shit.
always, with our new media seat, Mr. Posobiec. Why don't you
Oh
kick us off?
shit.
Thank
Here
you,
we
Caroline.
go.
Secretary Bessent, if I may, there's been this media narrative out there that while we see the data on tax refunds, that it's not
Alright, do I
good
sell
enough, that
out
the
my
tax season has
blockade
been
or
too
something?
soft. What is your response to
A
this
little
media
scared
narrative
now.
regarding the tax refunds?
Look, it's been an incredible tax season. We have done more with less at the IRS, that we have moved over millions of taxpayers to digital tax accounts, and that leaves us able to
You think it'll be
service
off,
more taxpayers in person and on the phone.
I think it might
and
be
as
off-
we can see,
off-topic
the
questions
economy
here.
is very strong.
Kara said you
we
can
are
ask anyone.
seeing growth across the board in all areas, and as Kelly said, small business, Main Street are really the big beneficiaries, and this
Ceasefire.
is what they don't want you to hear.
More moves.
That Wall Street always done great. This administration is focused on
Which administration? Which
parallel
administration?
prosperity and bringing prosperity back to Main Street, and that starts with people keeping more of their money.
And one for Caroline as well as the administration in general, if I may. This past Saturday, I published a video of now former Representative Eric Swalwell.
Oh, dude, they're gonna
Ed,
be. she's gonna
Presence
say
in
more
Las
moves.
Vegas. Well, Eric Swalwell was in Las
Might as well
Vegas. In this
sell out.
video, I'm told, according to geotagging,
Bro, this is
scandal
very.
has
It's gonna
erupted
go off
now.
topic.
Accusers coming forward, many
They're
others
talking
coming
about
forward,
Swalwell.
as well as questions regarding his extremely close relationship with Arizona Senator Ruben Gallego. And I want to know if the administration
Okay, so
had
Apple
any
moves.
comment on the fact that Senator Gallego seemed to be very vocal about wanting the release of the Epstein files, and yet when questions come to his own involvement with Eric Swalwell, he doesn't seem to want to provide anything.
Yeah, look, I think the accusations and allegations against former Representative Swalwell are despicable and disgusting. I think it's also quite plausible, as you point out, Jack, that there were many other Democrats in this town on Capitol Hill who knew about his perhaps illegal behavior, certainly his disgusting and inappropriate behavior, and why were they silent for so long? I think those are questions that must be raised of these sitting representatives, including Mr. Gallego, and I hope that the journalists in this room will do their jobs, and the journalists on Capitol Hill will do their jobs to ask Democrats in power how they knew about such despicable behavior from one of their elected representatives for so long, but never said or did anything about it. So that's what we hope to see as far as the White House and the President is concerned. Thank you. Peter.
Thank you. I have one for you and then one for Secretary Bessent.
Sure.
For you, Caroline, there are now 10 American scientists who have either gone missing or died since mid-2024.
Yeah, this is
they
so
all
off
reportedly had
topic.
access to
So off topic
classified nuclear
questions.
or aerospace material. Is
Right.
anybody investigating this to see if these things are connected?
I've seen the report, Peter. I haven't spoken to our relevant agencies about it. I will certainly do that and we'll get you an answer. If true, of course, that's definitely something I think this government and administration would deem worth looking into. So let me do that for you.
Thank you. And Secretary Bessent, it doesn't sound like we're going to have $3 a gallon gas by summertime, which we had initially been told by the energy
Where's
secretary.
gas? Oh shit.
He now says
I missed it. Why was gas so
that it would be very
God.
aggressive if we're going to get to the $3 a gallon gas by the summer. So when are we really going to get $3 a gallon gas?
For sure.
Well, I think that's going to be the up to how the negotiations go. President Trump said this morning that he thinks we're nearing the end. The U.S. kept their side on the ceasefire. We've stopped firing.
Ceasefire?
The Straits of Hormuz have not been completely reopened. So we will see. And I'm optimistic that during the summer we will see gas with a 3 in front of it sooner rather than later. It's Bank Week here in D.C., so I've been meeting with a lot of my Middle Eastern counterparts, the finance ministers, and they all say that once the straits are open, they can start pumping again within 1 week.
So not by summer, like Memorial Day, but maybe by Labor Day?
Again, I'm optimistic that sometime between June 20th and September 20th, that we can have $3 gas again. And as I said this morning too, we are going to be watching the gas stations because they raise prices very quickly when when the crude oil prices went up. We hope they'll bring them down just as quickly as crude oil prices have come down, which they've come down substantially just in the past 10 days.
Great. Sure.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Can you give us an update on the president's thinking on the next attorney general? A lot of names have been going around, like Ron DeSantis, Rudy Giuliani, Ed Martin. They're being floated as contenders. What qualities is the president looking for in a new AG? And will there be accountability for what many have described as weaponization within Biden's office when he was the president?
Sure. Well, certainly ensuring that there's accountability for the organization of justice that took place under the Biden administration is a top priority for this president. With respect to names that are floated, there are always names floated in the press. Sometimes I have a chuckle when I read some of the reports about certain people floated for certain jobs. As far as the president is concerned right now, Todd Blanche remains the acting attorney general. The president feels he's doing a good job, and that's where it remains right now. I don't have any personnel updates for you today. Annie.
Thank you, Caroline. I have a question for you and also for the Treasury Secretary. First of all, there was an interview that Dr. Mehmet Oz did recently where he described the president's views on his own diet. He said that he argued that diet soda is good for him because it kills grass. And if you pour it onto the grass, the grass is killed and it therefore must kill cancer cells. I'm wondering if you can, was this sort of an accurate description of how the president sees
olive oil?
Look, as we all know in this room, I think you know the president has a very good sense of humor. It's one of his most underreported characteristics, I would say. I have heard him tell this joke before. I think the Wall Street Journal should get a better sense of humor.
And then another one for you. Has the president filed his taxes and is he going to release them publicly?
It's actually a very good question. I have not inquired with the president directly about his own taxes, but I'm happy to do so, and we'll get you an answer on that.
Secretary Bessent,
I have filed my taxes.
the president has publicly said that you are the reason that he has not fired Chairman Jay Powell. Will you make that case again to him?
Hit Trump
he's
now.
recently said that he still wants to fire the chairman.
Look, I am
Come on, Bessent.
confident that the process that we have laid out in terms
Powell?
of Kevin Warsh, becoming the next Fed chair, he's going to have the hearing on the 21st of this month. He's a great candidate. We know that the Republicans on the Senate Senate Banking Committee are aligned in that, and I am very optimistic that the Kevin Warsh will be the chair of the Fed on time, and that will be a moot question.
Stephen, go ahead.
Secretary Bessent, you mentioned that the no tax on overtime is the biggest one that people are claiming. I think you said 25 million people. Have you seen evidence that more companies are offering overtime, or that people are working more overtime and increasing their productivity? And the second question,
oh my God.
The health insurance industry is advertising heavily in DC,
Yo.
describing themselves as the good guys.
I'm too slow! I'm trying to click this! I can't click it! I can't click all this! Oh my God, who is faster than me on this crap?
Okay, so I'll take the second one last because that's not my area. I wear a lot of hats.
Speed up my stream or something,
I am sure that the president makes his views known with corporate executives, and if that is true, then they will be hauled before him. And with overtime, as Kelly and I go out and talk to employers and workers around the country, they all want more overtime. And there was this narrative that I think over 2 million illegal aliens have either voluntarily deported or been deported, and that there would be a worker shortage. Well, what better way to fill that gap than with overtime for hard-working Americans and for them to keep more of it?
Is he not on
Yeah, I'll just add that a great example are the factories that we see coming back thanks to 100% Made in America expensing. Coosa Steel is a great example in Rome, Georgia, where the owner was down to running one shift 1 day a week. He's up to 2 or 3 shifts 5 or 6 days a week. So thanks to reindustrializing this nation through our small manufacturing base, which most manufacturers in America meet the small business definition, 98% of them, we're seeing more shifts taking place, more opportunities for overtime, and more willingness of workers to take on overtime shifts, because in the past they were penalized by the tax system for taking on overtime.
Elizabeth, go ahead.
Thank you. This is for Administrator Loeffler. You talked about how the One Big Beautiful Bill benefits small businesses. With small business optimism falling in March, is the administration planning on providing any additional tax relief or other resources to small businesses who have been affected by high fuel prices?
It's just based off a question.
Yeah, so one data point does not a trend make, and the long-term trend under President Trump has been for small business optimism to be above its 52-year average. Under Joe Biden, small business optimism fell below that average for 34 consecutive months because small business was being crushed by regulation, massive red tape, the threat of high taxes, and all the burdens of the Green New Deal. So right now, small businesses are really in growth mode. They're planning to hire, and the optimism is very strong. If you see in the NAM survey, National Association of Manufacturers came out, their optimism is up 5 points. So I think this is temporary, and we'll get back on trend.
What's the status of extending the Iran ceasefire, Caroline?
Yes, so I saw some reporting, again, bad reporting this morning, that we had formally requested an extension of the ceasefire. That is not true at this moment. We remain very much engaged in these negotiations. From the Vice President directly this week, that these conversations are productive and ongoing, and that's where we are right now. I've also seen some reporting about the potentiality for in-person discussions again.
She hit the two I
those
held.
Discussions are being had, but nothing is official until you hear it from us here at the White House. But we feel good about the prospects of a deal. The president mentioned that in his interview yesterday, and it's obviously in the best interest of Iran to meet the president's demands. I think he's made his red lines in these negotiations very clear to the other side, and so we are continuing to see how these conversations go.
I sold Hormuz and
Where would they be
blockade.
the next round?
I
They would
kept
very likely be
negotiation and
in the same
ceasefire,
places
and
they
she
were last
hit
time,
the
yes.
two I
With the
was
same-
holding.
I would just want to make one point that's important to the president. The Pakistanis have been incredible
Pakistanis.
mediators throughout this process, and we really appreciate their friendship and their efforts to bring this deal to a close. So they are the only mediator in this negotiation. While there have been many countries around the world who want to offer their help, the president feels it's important to continue to streamline this communication through the Pakistanis, and so that's what continues to take place. Will.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Caroline.
Yo, if I get a China question, I'm
how
gonna
much room
hang it up.
do you see for additional sanctions being placed on Iran? And do you feel like the United States is getting enough support from allies on that front? There was a letter that went to Oman and some other allies that suggested maybe the sanctions weren't, this could be for Secretary Bessent as well,
Yeah.
but the sanctions basically weren't having the effect that the United States wanted.
I'll let the Treasury Secretary, who's in charge of sanctions, answer that question.
Yeah, I think that's not a correct characterization. Yesterday, we announced Operation Economic Fury.
Economic
and
Fury.
For over a year, we have had maximum pressure on the Iranians, both on blocking payments into the Iranian state and going after the accounts of the IRGC. One of what may prove to be fatal mistakes that the Iranians made was bombing their GCC neighbors, and who are now going to be much more transparent in terms of the funds, or do a deeper dive in investigating the funds that are held within their banking systems. So we have pushed out to them the request that we want to freeze more funds of the leadership of the IRGC and any members of Iranian leadership. The other thing that we have done is we have told countries that if you are buying Iranian oil, that if Iranian money is sitting in your banks, we are now willing to apply secondary sanctions, which is a very stern measure, and the Iranians should know that this is going to be the financial equivalent of what we saw in the kinetic activities.
Is this an example of expanding the war economically as opposed to militarily? Is this another phase in that?
Exactly.
Secretary, what was the coordination? Any update on the insurance program, the U.S. reinsurance program for ships and tankers sailing through the Strait of Hormuz? Any update on that, sir?
Well, it's now up to $40 billion. It's run through the DFC, and we are waiting for the ships to be able to get some semblance of normality, and then they can come to the DFC and our private sector partners and request the insurance.
And what do you tell private shipping companies out there right now nervous about this whole thing, saying, wondering if they should even get near the strait?
What's that?
What do you tell to encourage shipping companies to do business through the strait?
Well, I think we're going to have to wait and see when they are permanently open, because this is a mechanism. When we declare that it is safe, they also have to have insurance. Lloyd's of London had skyrocketing insurance during the time. The rates are still very high. So we want to provide, the U.S. government will make a profit on this, but we want to provide a more normalized level and an economically sound basis for ships to move in and out of the Gulf as they did before the start of the conflict.
Thanks, Caroline. I appreciate it. Thanks, Caroline. Yeah, thanks, Caroline. I appreciate it. So, I want to cover two topics, if I could: the tax day, but also the confirmation. So, the confirmation hearing set for next week for Kevin Warsh, but Senator Tom Tillis is still a no, and he's holding firm on that. How are you going to win over Senator Tillis to get this confirmation out of committee?
Look, I'm sure Senator Tillis wants to do the best thing for the Federal Reserve, for the American people. He has publicly said that Kevin Warsh is a great candidate for the chair. So let's get to the hearings and see where we are then.
I want to ask you about tax day, if I could. So the tax gains that you talked about through the One Big Beautiful Bill, is that going to offset the consternation from Americans, for lack of a better term, over the $4 gallon of gas?
Well, again, as I said, no one's ever objected to more money in their pocket. So the Americans have more money. They can decide how they want to spend it. And I did want to come back to the overtime question, because I was up in Westchester County last Friday, and I met with several of the first responders and police unions. And those, whether it's our great policemen, our firemen, our ambulance drivers, they all now want more overtime. And how great it is to have them to be able to be engaged and keep more of their money.
Thank you, Caroline. For both of you, perhaps, are President Trump's threats of a 50% tariff against China still on the table now, or is the letter exchange that you talked about now taking that off of the table?
Well, as you know, the president spoke about the letter with respect to he and the correspondence between he and President Xi. President Xi assured the president that they are not supplying Iran with weapons throughout this conflict, and that assurance was made to the president. It's obviously something the administration keeps close tabs on with respect to tariff. You have any update on that?
I don't have an update on the tariff, but I do have an update on sanctions.
Tariff, no China! Yes, Carol! She's done it!
China was purchasing more than 90% of their oil, which is about 8% of China's energy needs. We believe this blockade in the Straits, there will be a pause of Chinese buying, but I will tell you that
oh my gosh,
two Chinese banks received letters from the U.S. Treasury. I'm not going to identify the banks.
We gotta click on it.
We told them that if we can prove that there is Iranian money flowing through your accounts, then we are willing to put on secondary sanctions.
And are you Nick, go ahead.
Yes! Yes! He was trying to follow up.
Are you considering any more sanctions relief, Mr. Secretary, for countries that are suffering right now in order to give more oil to your allies?
Venezuela, possibly?
We will not be renewing the general license on Russian oil, and we will not be renewing the general license on Iranian oil. Because again, that was oil that was on the water prior to March 11th.
Right.
So all that has been used.
Oh my God.
Nick, go ahead.
Treasury Secretary.
Yo, we might actually win on China.
Million Americans have used one of these new tax exemptions the president enacted. Can you speak to not only the relief that's bringing specifically working class Americans like waiters, bartenders, overtime workers, but also the impact this is going to have on the economy?
Well, a couple of things there is I can tell you, I think Kelly's very
about
popular.
Some big beautiful bill.
I think with
just in
service
case you're
workers,
ask
I may be the most popular cabinet secretary in D.C. because when I show up, a doorman, the not so much bartenders, but waiters, waitresses, they all say thank you for no tax on tips. Again, I was in a diner up in Westchester County, and this is a home run. In terms of what's happening with these folks, and what we can't tell you yet, and we will be able to provide data at a later date. That 52 million is how many have used at least one of those. So we expect that there are probably multiple filers who have used at least more than one of those 4 signature things. And look, again, this is the America First, Americans, hardworking Americans keeping more of their money, just like with our small businesses. If we go back and look, when you hear the left talk about this was a tax cut for millionaires and billionaires, they wanted to raise the tax rate for everyone making more than $500,000. That is a small business killer.
You got hit Trump there.
I have one question for the Secretary and then the Administrator. Mr. Secretary, since we're on the topic of China a few minutes ago, we are a little over a year past the tariffs. The goods trade deficit with China has dropped sharply. Are those gains sustainable, and are you worried about any retaliatory actions that could go against those gains?
I actually think we're going to be building on those gains in terms of the trade deficit dropping with China. Since last summer, there's been great stability in the relationship.
Kara, stay over
really
there.
The keystone to the
Kara,
relationship
stay over there.
is
Get away from the mic.
Respect that the two leaders have between each other. My experience has been when the communication is at the top, then we follow that directive and those wishes. We had the meeting in Busan, Korea. In October, we will be having the state visit in Beijing, and so I expect great stability in the relationship. But that doesn't mean that our trade deficit can't continue dropping.
Go ahead. For the Administrator, I know that there are orders and shipments of factory equipment. They are at record highs. How many small businesses has the SBA assisted with loans and supports, with loans to support them?
Well, the SBA set an all-time lending record last year, $45 billion under President Trump, because small businesses now have access to the capital that they need to build in America. Again, we are becoming a nation of builders, and we see that on the ground, factories expanding. As a result, we have record PMI, which is Purchasing Managers Index, manufacturing expansion, 2 consecutive months in a row of export records. And so when you look at where our nation has come in terms of export-import imbalance, it's been unfair to the American worker and to American industry, and we're reshoring whole industries because of this tax bill.
Libby.
Libby, go ahead.
Thank you, Carol.
Go ahead, I have 2 questions for you. The first one is about Iran. The second one's actually about United Airlines that I want to ask you about. So on Iran, is there a timeline for how long this blockade is going to remain in place in the Strait of Hormuz by the United States that President Trump has voiced to you or that you've heard among officials?
Sure.
Damn, I didn't get the
I will
click.
never set timelines on behalf of the President of the United States,
said
but
blockade,
with respect
huh?
to the blockade,
Wow.
as you know, it has been fully
She's gonna hit
implemented,
Hormuz.
and it's being enforced against
gotta hit
vessels of
Hormuz
all
here.
nations entering or departing Iranian ports. I want to make that point clear. I've seen some misreporting on that as well. This includes all Iranian ports on the Arabian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. And our U.S. forces in the region are supporting the freedom of navigation for vessels that are transiting the strait to and from non-Iranian ports. So I know some in the press were confused about that. We are supporting the freedom of navigation, just not with respect to any tanker or vessel that would benefit the economy of Iran as these negotiations continue.
So there was reports that the CEO of United proposed a merger with American Airlines. This would affect tens of millions of Americans. That was proposed in a meeting with President Trump. Was that a merger that he has voiced any kind of support of?
It's not anything that we have a position on or anything we're commenting on. I know it's an idea that has been proposed by private industry, but it's not something the President or the White House have an opinion on or are weighing in on at this time. John.
Carol,
John, go ahead.
You're supposed to say it every time. Why'd you say this straight? What are you, Donald?
On Monday of next week, importers can start requesting claims for tariff refunds. And my understanding is $127 billion eligible for refunds. What's that process look like? How can a porter and an importer request such a refund going forward?
That's not being run out of Treasury. We will just be the paymaster. So that's being run out of CPB. Yep.
And so explain that process. I understand you're not running it. How does that process actually work? If you're an importer, you paid these tariffs, the Supreme Court found that those tariffs were illegal. What's the process for them to get back that money?
They would be in touch with the CPB. And I think the number you're quoting is so that's the amount who have already requested refunds. So they are already in the chute, and we'll see what the timeline is for that.
Will that affect the U.S. economy, all of those refunds coming out of the U.S. Treasury?
Again, we'll have to see what comes out, and we'll have to see what the companies do with them. Just to be clear, thanks to the Supreme Court, some of this money is going back to China. So
China.
is that going to affect the U.S. economy?
God, stop.
I don't know.
Stop.
A question for Secretary Bessent.
Danny, go ahead.
Mr. Secretary, you were quoted as saying in an interview earlier this week that it was worth a bit of economic pain for international security. Is that this administration's message to American voters with high gas prices that ahead of the midterms this year that it's worth the economic pain?
Well, the message is the short-term volatility for long-term gain.
And Danny, if I could add to that, the president's been very clear. Again, as the secretary just said, this is a short-term disruption for the long-term strategic goal of the United States to ensure that the world's leading state sponsor of terror cannot obtain a nuclear weapon. That's a good thing for the American people. That's a good thing for people all over the world. And as the president and his economic and energy team have repeatedly stated, as soon as the operation and now the negotiations with Iran conclude and the strait is reopened, we do expect gas prices to decrease. And thank goodness we have a president and an administration that believes in American energy dominance in bringing down prices at the pump. Look at how gas prices decreased over the past year since this president was in office. It's a stark contrast to the previous administration and Democrats in this city who believe in hampering our domestic energy industry, who believe in importing our most precious resources, who believe in implementing policies that created the worst inflation crisis in history. President Trump has built the greatest economy in the world before. He is doing it again. Of course, we have this short-term disruption, but again, it's for the long-term strategic goal of ensuring that these terrorists cannot possess a nuclear bomb. Jennifer.
First, Secretary Bessent, on the Russian oil, I know the sanctions waivers have expired, but how much money did Russia benefit from that temporary sanctions rules? You initially said about $2 billion. Is that?
It could have been $2 billion. We don't know. But it's. Let's think of a different world where oil spiked to 150, and they would have made a lot more by doing that, by pushing the Russian barrels that were already on the water. They were going to be sold. They were going to China no matter what. We pushed them to our allies. We helped stabilize the oil price. And as you can see, there were doomsday scenarios. Oil's going to 150. It's going to 200. It's going to $250. West Texas crude for the front month delivery is about $92 or $93 now.
Thank you, everybody. I know we have two very busy cabinet secretaries with us here today. Before we do depart, just one final announcement. As you know, this year we celebrate America's 250th birthday. In honor of this historic occasion, President Trump and the Department of Interior will submit plans for the United States Triumphal Arch, which will be an architectural masterpiece to celebrate our history right here in Washington, D.C. This is a rendering of the Arch for you. Thank you, Peter. It's quite beautiful, as you can see, and this monumental arch will beam at 250 feet tall in honor of 250 years and stand on ground that is currently empty green space in Memorial Circle on Columbia Island, a man-made island in the Potomac River managed by the National Park Service. The United States Triumphal Arch will be outfitted with beautiful artwork and depictions celebrating the success of the American people over our 250-year history and the enduring triumph of the American spirit. Long after everyone in this room is gone, our children and grandchildren will remain inspired by this national monument. Beginning construction this year on the architectural arch is a fitting way to commemorate the 250th anniversary of American independence. Great nations build beautiful structures that cultivate national pride and love of country, and this triumphal arch should be a project that all Americans of all political persuasions can support, because it's a monument for every American to celebrate 250 years of our nation's proud history. And again, the plans for this will be submitted tomorrow. And we'll have many more announcements with respect to our 250th anniversary in the coming months as we look forward to the 4th of July. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day.
That was the worst briefing of all time. I called it. That was the worst briefing of all time. That shit sucked. That was a dog water briefing filled with plant reporters and stupid questions. Damn it. Bro. Yeah, that was disgusting. Bro, how'd you not hit Hormuz either? Like, what the fuck? No big, beautiful bill. At least we won on a no China. That's the first time I've won on a no China. And she even got a China question too. These goddamn reporters, bro. These goddamn reporters. They even asked her about President Xi and she dodged it. But, we lost. We fucking lost on Bessent. Bessent hit Trump 4 times. GG's, we're done. We're fucking done with the worst press briefing of all time. That was absolutely dog shit. Caro, stop bringing guests. Caro, I hate when Caro brings guests, man. Just, why can't it just be you? This shit sucks. Alright, well, GG's. I know, and I fucking know, this is what pisses me off. I know so many people made money with that shit. Getting the clicks off the 4th update and bullshit. Oh, and I'm here sitting losing $100. That shit pisses me off. It pisses me off to know people won. And I lost. She hit ceasefire and negotiation, and I sold off my fucking no Hormuz to flip to yes. Oh my god. It's okay. You win some, you lose some. Yeah, we'll stream Melania. Well, like, how long is Melania gonna be, though? I don't have anything for it, really. Like, I literally have nothing for it. I don't know what she's gonna talk about, so... Oh my god, that pisses me off. That actually pisses me off to know that I fucking could have won and I didn't. I lost $100 off stupid fucking plays. Stupid plays. It's okay. You win some, you lose some. Should have went harder on Vegas. I should have bought 500 shares, I'll be honest. I should have fucking sold my negotiate and my ceasefire. Big Beautiful Bill is fine. That's just a fucking horrible dot. That's a horrible, horrible miss. I should have went harder on No Pope. At least I got this tariff click. W tariff click. Made $90 on that. That's okay. Yeah, maybe I restart the stream and do Melania. I don't know. How long's Melania's roundtable gonna be? If it's gonna be really long, I don't want to do it. I'll be honest, because I don't know what's going on. I have no research for Melania. I just know it was closed and they went open press. So she's probably gonna fucking say children and foster and safe, and that's it. And education, school. God damn it, bro. Oh my god. I don't want to see any winning slips on that bullshit, bro. If I see any winning slips on that bullshit, I'm gonna be mad. Oh my god. Fuck. This guy made 3K. This guy in Discord made 3K on that. This is the worst. That was the worst press briefing of all time. I'm sorry. I'm being whiny, but what's Melania doing? Oh, is she crying? She's mogging? Should we buy Mog? Yes. She's literally mogging. Joins House Roundtable on U.S. foster care system. I mean, yeah, she's going to say goddamn foster, isn't she? Honestly, I probably won't stream this Melania. I don't know what's going on. It's going to kind of suck. Alright. Well, GG's. We lost $87 on Caro, and we lost $90 on Bessent. So we lost about $200. To be fair, Bessent was 1 Trump away from 5. I feel like that was even bad buys, but